It was going, all of the lights when you came into the stadium. It was an absolutely incredible environment. I know why Micah Parsons, when he came out of the tunnel, had to stop and take it all in, because that was a sight to behold. That was bigger than just a week 2 regular season game.
Lambeau's special all the time, but to walk into that stadium last night, the weather was perfect. We were sitting there under clement skies. You said it was a whiteout. We had everybody there cheering, and just the energy when you walked in there. Then the Green Bay Packers go out and they have the performance that they had against the Washington Commanders. You think that crowd was hyped to start? It was hyped to finish.
We are Unsportsmanlike, and you are a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation. And by the way, thank you to all the people here in Wisconsin, because we learned last night, all throughout our Tundra Trio pregame party that we had and walking throughout the stadium, you guys are a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation as well, and you can be a part of it on the Dr. Pepper call line at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, Evan Cohen with you. Last night was so much fun for us. We'll break down the game, obviously, but it was so much fun for us. And I got to tell you, I don't mean to be, I don't know, mushy's the right word or whatever. It is a treat watching a game next to Chris Canty.
Yes, it is.
Stand. It really is.
It is.
It's a no, I'm serious. I don't want to, I just, we got home really late last night. We had the greatest time last night. But watching a game next to Canty is so interesting, because he knows every play that's happening. He knows how it's happening. The thing that I don't understand is why do you ever ask for my opinion? You shouldn't. I'd like to, because he says to me, Smalls, like it was, CC was on my left, then me, then you're on the right, then Nuno was on the, and he's like, what do you think they should do here? And I'm like, who cares what I think they should do here? What do you think they should do?
Well, wait a minute now. You need to give yourself a little bit of credit.
Oh, really?
You predicted that they would take a shot with Jordan Love and Matthew Golden early. It just so happened to be an underthrown ball in the end zone, but Matthew Golden was open.
Yes.
And you predicted that should happen. You were like,
so I had a good game?
What are you thinking here, Canty? Shot? And I was like, I don't hate the idea. Anytime you're in the alumni section that's 40-40, teams are typically going to take shots. And that's exactly what happened with the Packers. Give yourself a little bit of credit.
I had a good game last night.
When have you missed an opportunity to pat yourself on the back?
Maybe that's all this was. Speaking of patting, I also want to reveal something.
Oh, my God.
Do you see my bruise on my thumb right here?
Oh, yeah, I do see it, yeah.
How did I get that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
I saw nothing.
Well, we were at a huge party before the show, and I found a football. So I was holding the football the entire time, and many people tried to strip it from me, including one Chris Canty.
No, he didn't try. He succeeded.
Oh, you didn't see the first one.
I did try it first.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a love tap.
So you weren't really giving it your full effort.
I could tell I caught him by surprise, but he did a good job of re-securing the ball. Mm-hmm. And so I had to make sure the next time that I went in, let Evan Cohen know, I used to play in the NFL.
That's right.
I know how to do this. Yeah. Turnover circuit, we're used to getting the football out every single day at practice, trying to do it in the games. I think I can do it against the Ocho.
There's a step you don't cross.
He had to show us that he's the resident Super Bowl champ.
Oh, and did he ever? Because I'm not kidding, ladies and gentlemen. I legitimately thought I broke my wrist. My hands were jammed. I mean, my middle finger is still jammed, and my thumb is bruised.
Well, that's a good sign. There was another quarterback at Lambeau Field that had an injured thumb, and he had a pretty good day.
Yeah, me and Jordan Love, same kind of thing. You destroyed me on this. But let's go there. Smalls, this is your team.
Oh, yes, it is.
They are so good in the way in which, I mean, if you think about it, 27-18. They beat the Commanders last night.
It wasn't that close.
It was not that close.
Nope.
And they beat Detroit in week 1. And your quarterback threw for 2 touchdowns and had a big run yesterday as well. And your tight end, Tucker Kraft, had over 100 yards receiving. And Micah, who doesn't even play that much at this point, which is because he's still working himself in the back, all that stuff. Smalls, your team is phenomenal.
We are so good. We are so good. And you're right, it's a full team effort. It's not just the quarterback carrying the load for the offense. It's not just Micah and the defense carrying the day. It's the entire team, top to bottom, executing and working with cohesion. Jordan Love, you mentioned the touchdown, Zeb. Also, it's his 9th straight game without an interception. And yes, I know that we need to see that throughout the beginning of the first half of the season, but so far so good for Jordan Love. Micah and the defense, unbelievable. Micah, 6 pressures on 32 pass rushes, the most pressures by any player for either team in this game. They look unbelievable. And to be able to start the season beating the Kings of the North from last year and the Detroit Lions and being able to neutralize that offense, the most explosive unit in the NFL last year, and then follow that up with a Week 2 performance against Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, a team that was in the Final Four last year. They have made it known that they are here to play and that they are thinking Super Bowl.
This reframes how I look at the Detroit Lions game Week 1. Everybody said the sky was falling after Detroit soiled themselves last week at Lambeau Field. It feels like they discredit the Green Bay Packers when saying that. I don't think people realize how good this team is, how good this defense is. Early on, Evan and I were trying to figure out what the hell Matt LaFleur was doing, going for it on 4th down. And we realized Matt LaFleur is doing that because he knows he has an elite defense. There is so much more margin for error. And we had Mark Tremora as a part of what we were doing yesterday here in ESPN Milwaukee. And the point that he was making was that when you have a guy like Micah Parsons, when you have an elite defense, it allows you to be so much more aggressive. You know, he likened it to when the Green Bay Packers in the mid-'90s added Reggie White. The offense could be more aggressive. The offense could think outside of the box. The offense could get a whole lot of guys involved and experiment with things just because they know they have a defense that's going to give them a long runway, a defense that will give them time to figure it out and to find their identity. Jordan Love last night, best thing he did, take care of the football.
Yep.
You know, there were a lot of throwaways. He took a sack in that 2-minute drill because he wanted to keep the clock running. There were just so many things that he did. And you just realize when you don't have that pressure on you to have to score every single possession, then all of a sudden you can make good decisions with the football. But conversely, your head coach and your play caller can be ultra aggressive when it comes to playmaking. And so I think that's the right formula for the Green Bay Packers when we're thinking about what this offense is going to look like moving forward, particularly without Jaden Reed for the next 6 to 8 weeks with a broken collarbone. You want the play caller to be aggressive, not the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the defense, that's what Micah Parsons' presence allows for Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love.
You know, I don't want to do this to exactly this way with this team, but I remember the year the Warriors won their first title. I saw them play in Miami against the Heat. My dad and I went to the game. He was in town, and we're looking at Steph and Clay, and we're like, this team is special. There's something about I didn't think they were going to win a championship. That's how I felt last night. I was watching that game with all of us there, and I kept looking at the Packers. I'm like, this team is special. Like, what do they not have? And CeCe made the point when it was happening, and we were sitting there like, this is going to sound wild. They're 2-0. They beat the Commanders, defending or one of the finalists for the NFC last year, NFC Championship game. Jordan Love had 2 touchdowns, 292 yards passing, 19 of 31. He also had a big run. He missed a lot of throws. There's actually more to be had.
Yeah.
They're much better than
two monster explosives to Matthew Golden.
Yep.
The one early on that was underthrown on the 4th down, and then there was one, I believe, in the second quarter that was overthrown.
Yeah.
2 monster
not enough
throws.
zip on a couple of his throws also. Like, they have things to correct. They just destroyed the Lions and the Commanders in back-to-back weeks where Micah doesn't play that much, and Jordan Love, this is not just like, we all can get better in life. No, there are moments where Chris Canty is looking and saying, no, that's a point of emphasis this week. Smalls, you got to win the Super Bowl. That's what I left there last night thinking, you got to win the Super Bowl, and I need ice for my hand. But you got to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
They're that good.
And I know it's only 2 weeks, small sample size, but I don't think we're overreacting. I don't think we're overreacting based on the quality of opponents that they've had in the first 2 weeks and everything that you just said. They look outstanding from top to bottom, and that's still not their peak. We still think they have another gear on both sides of the ball. What is there not to like about this Packers team right now, or not to I mean, obviously, knock on wood, health is always contingent as the season goes on, and we saw that bear out last night.
You lost a guy last night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But collarbone injury.
Yeah, that was awful. But just from a talent standpoint, there seems to be no gaping holes on this team. You trust your defense, you trust your offense, you have a quarterback that you have faith in that you still think has another gear, and you trust your coach. And I'm interested to see what the Eagles look like against the Chiefs this week. But as far as I'm concerned right now, I would be very, very surprised if it's not Packers-Eagles in the NFC Championship
The
game.
Packers, the way they play, reminds me of the Philadelphia Eagles after their Week 5 bye last year.
So that's earlier, though. That's like 4 or 5 weeks earlier.
I understand that.
That's amazing.
But what it looks like reminds me of that. An offense that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, has a lot of explosive elements, but a defense that can pitch shutouts. And make no mistake, that's what we got last night from the Packers. Their defense pitched a shutout. Jaden Daniels, 52 dropbacks. He was pressured on 24 of them. That's damn near half. 52 dropbacks, you were pressured on 24 of them?
Smothered.
12 quarterback hits, 4 quarterback sacks. Hell, Micah Parsons had 6 pressures, 3 quarterback hits, and a half sack alone. And he was constantly double teamed. Jeff Hafley sent 13 blitzes at Jaden Daniels. 13 blitzes. Now, Jaden Daniels last year was second in QBR, only to Jalen Hurts in QBR against the blitz. Last night, against the 13 blitzes that he faced on dropbacks, Jaden Daniels went 3 of 11 for 26 yards and was sacked twice. Dominant by Jeff Hafley, dominant by that defensive front. This defense is going to make a lot of quarterbacks look bad. So don't judge the opposing team's offense based on how they look against the Green Bay Packers, because this is an outlier in comparison to the rest of the league.
All right, we got to dive into the Commanders part of it as well, but I do want to pose this question to answer coming up. If I said to you right now you had to pick one team to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC, and it's an NFC Championship game between Green Bay and Philly, who are you picking? I want that answer coming up, and we'll dive into the Commanders part of it as well. A reminder, tune into college football doubleheader tomorrow as West Virginia hosts Pitt, followed by Florida at LSU, presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. At Unsports ESPN, Rob Lorenzo, our social and digital guy, caught the strip sack, Canty, of me, and you will see my face
Oh my gosh.
Of how concerned I am about my wrist. But I'll tell you, last night in those stands, fans everywhere listening to everything CC said. That was a treat for anybody. If you can go to a game with Chris Canty and just listen to him speak at the game,